was told Mike Novell said that he thinks Thomas Castellanos is the most athletic quarterback they'll see all year. So I guess in that context, are you still tapping into that athleticism? Are you still learning more about this guy and what he can do?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big compliment. You know, obviously from Mike, they just played a good LSU team and a really athletic quarterback. Yeah, Thomas has played in 1.5 games. I mean, I think now that the offense knows his skill set, knows what they can handle, what he can handle, I think now we can really game plan for him. You know, going in the first game, he was going to come in and play a little bit. And then, you know, then he's obviously played in 2 games now, so 2 starts. But I think you'll see more and more. I talked to him yesterday for a while. He's just so much more comfortable and confident. I think that game gave him a lot of confidence, Rich. He's playing against really good players who can run. And obviously he looked like one of the faster and the better players on the field. So I think we can keep adding, giving him some stuff to learn. There's certain things procedurally that are leading to some of those false starts. I know everybody wants to get on the O-line for that, but there's some things in the huddle and there's some things cadence-wise that we have to clean up. But I'm excited to see what he can do. So definitely, I think we're just tapping into the plays and figuring out what he can do best, and we can continue to add as we really get rolling now.
Has the offense evolved from where it was at the beginning of even camp when he starts coming in and starts working into the offense to where it is now? As you start adding things, has it kind of been like, okay, we thought we were going to be here, and now we're seeing that we can drift a little bit away from that kind of with the way you approach it?
Yeah, I think as a coach, you have to base your scheme around for what your players do best. Some of those quarterback runs, they weren't in early. Now you find out what he can do, whether it was some of the draw or some of the gap scheme stuff that he was running the ball. A lot of it was design run and not scramble. I think each week you're going to see a little bit tweaks and a little new this and that. But then at the same time, some of his biggest plays came when he's moving around and either throwing the ball down the field to the wideouts who get open on scramble drills, or then he takes off himself. But I know those guys now, they're starting to see what he can do, and I think everybody on our offense is. I think our receivers now are, if I'm not open right away, you better get open because the play's going to extend for a long period of time. We had a lot of big catch and runs in that game, and I think a lot of that had to do with he can keep the play alive. It's hard to cover somebody for that long. I mean, it's really hard. So I'm excited to see where we can take him. At the same time, we gotta be careful too. You run around and you do too much of that stuff, and all of a sudden it's week 8, and you're banged up pretty good. So I think it's give and take, but I'm excited.
Sorry, post game you had said you were looking forward to seeing the film and the penalties in particular. One, the disconcerting signals calls. What did you see? And then 2, you had mentioned if guys were committing penalties, they weren't going to play. Now that you've seen it, does anybody deserve to sit?
No, I said if guys were committing flagrant, personal fouls, doing stuff that doesn't pertain to the game of football, then they should not play. And one guy in particular did not play the whole first quarter because that's how strongly I felt about it. We did not have any of those this week. As for some of the calls, I think in every game, there's some good calls. I think in every game there's some missed calls. Some missed calls are in huge parts of the game. They're unfortunate, but you look back and some are good, some are bad. And I think each game you see a little bit of both.
Just on those disconcerting signals, what is that? And then just in your view, what was he doing?
We're gonna figure that out still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I Googled it. It's somehow you're interfering with the cadence.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Did you ever have a conversation with anybody?
I'm going to this afternoon. Yeah.
You had to Google it. We didn't.
You wouldn't? All right.
Go back to yards after catch.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of it's just the way he's leading the receivers too. It's not just the scramble, but
yeah,
the way he's delivering the ball that they're not coming back to it or they're not looking for it. It's right there in the hands.
Yeah, I think Thomas does a really good job of keeping his eyes down the field when he scrambles. I think a lot of times quarterbacks who run the ball, they just kind of start looking to run. He keeps his eyes down the field and he sees it really well. Give credit to the wideouts too for coming back to the ball. I mean, there were some big ones that Lewis caught. The one he threw across the field to Ryan, the one he threw to Dino, the one he threw to Joe. But you're starting to see guys like that, once they get the ball in their hands, are hard to tackle. Lewis is a hard kid to tackle in the open field. He kind of has a running back build to him where he's able to break tackles, and our yards after catch were really high, and hopefully that will continue. And those guys got to do a good job of getting open late in the down. I thought we caught the ball better too. We still had a few drops, but we're definitely making progress there as to where we started the season.
I did a little research, and I believe this is the first season in BC's 125-year history that the first 3 games have been decided by 3 points or fewer. Just what's that been like, and have you ever had a season like that in your career?
Yeah, I'm sure I have, where each game's pretty close. Most games in the NFL, a lot of those games come down to 2 minute. Haven't thought much about it. We gotta close them out, take care of the little things, so hopefully they're not that close. But at the same time, you go back to last week, the one thing that really stands out is we were down 21 points with 11 minutes in the third quarter. So for almost a full quarter, and then the fourth, we went on a 19-0 run and we fought back. So we put ourselves back into the game. I think if we clean stuff up, hopefully they won't be as close. But at the same time, at the end of the game, all those things are important. How you finish the game, how you start the game, and everything in the middle. But yeah, the first game is overtime. The second game is a one-possession game. And last week we're driving to win at the end of the game. And on defense, we're 1/3 down away from getting the ball back with a minute left. So they've been pretty draining games. But our guys are fighters, and they're going to stay in it to the end, which I really appreciate about them.
When Cam Arnold had that one play when the seas parted and he stepped in and made the tackle as a linebacker. What are some of the things do you want them to step up into the tackle on that? Do you want them to let the back come to him? What are some of the things that a linebacker kind of has to look for in that so he doesn't get too anxious and overrun the play?
Yeah, how big's the gap, right? If you're the A-gap player and it opens up and it's a small window, you go shoot it and you run through it as fast as you can. Sometimes when you have a lot of space, you got to take one side away and force them to your help because there's too much room to just go straight at them. But if there's a small gap, man, go run through it and put your shoulder pad through his sternum and run your feet. Cam did on that play. Cam played his best football since he's been here, in my opinion, not just because of the numbers that he had. He was the most physical that he ever was against a very physical back. That kid's a big, strong, violent back. And there was a couple times Cam hit him and he went backward. I was really proud of him. I thought him and Vinny both played really hard. I thought our linebackers played really well. Very, very physical game, and it wasn't just one guy. It was linebacker, safety. There were multiple people on the ball carrier multiple times. But if Cam can continue to do that, he's going to have a really good year.
How different is that, too, with the linebackers? Because Cam used to be safety, was to have a guy or be able to put them out in coverage and almost have safeties playing up in that linebacker role. How different is that for you to scheme versus just a traditional, linebacker?
Yeah, it's helpful because he has DB training, and we joke sometimes. Sometimes I'll take those guys in individual and work man drills, right? I usually do that on Fridays, and Cam has the footwork that we taught him when he was a safety, and then you see the other linebackers do it, and it's kind of new for them, but Cam's got that training. Cam can backpedal. He knows how to play press man. He knows how to play off man. I think it's a really good skill set for him to have for us and for himself going forward. It gives him more versatility because he's got the athletic ability to cover. Now he's really learning how to play in the box and become more of an instinctive player, which, again, it is helpful in this day and age when everything's spread.
After the game, you and Cam both talked about how this could kind of be a rejuvenating kind of loss. Obviously no moral victories, but did you get a sense that guys were maybe more ready to go this weekend when they came back in?
Yeah, they were disappointed that we lost the game, and when you turn on the film, they were really disappointed because there's a lot of things that we did leave out there. But at the same time, I think they have some confidence. They just played one of the best teams in the country, toe-to-toe, and a lot of our guys still believe that we should have won that game. Obviously, we didn't, and it was on us. There's no excuses for that. But yeah, I feel like they grew in confidence. If you look again, from 11 minutes left in the third quarter, we outscored them 19-0. And they've been wearing people out in the fourth, and our guys didn't quit. They got better. And now can we build off of that? Can we build off of what we did, and can we just continually get better and better and better as we go now and not take any more steps back? Because if we do that, we're going to be a really good football team, and we're going to win a lot of games. Now we need to do that. I felt it Sunday. It wasn't a woe is me loss. It was we got energy. Let's go. We can do this. Look, guys looking around say we can win this. We can win this game right now. Let's go. And they need that, and I'm happy that they got that in that game.
And just building off of that, first road trip of the year now, almost, mid-September. Is there a sense of, hey, let's take this on the road now?
Yeah, I mean that's going to be different, and that's one thing I'm going to challenge them on tomorrow when I build a plan to win and how we're going to win this game. It's how are we going to handle the road. We've had the same Friday, Saturday every week, right? The same time team meal is, the same time bedtime is, the same time we wake up, the same time team mass, the same time we walk into the stadium. Now it's going to be different. It's a 3:30 game on the road. So are we going to handle it, mature, and understand that this is a business trip? And I think we will, because I think guys are excited, and I think they want to play again, and I think they want it to come soon. Now we got to put in the work, but then we got to handle the road. We got to handle the plane, the hotel, the different food, the different wake-up time. And I'm going to count on the leaders and the coaches to help me out, so we go there and we are focused and driven, and we're ready to play.
When I pop out stats, it was Florida State was 2 of 10 on third down.
Yeah.
So and we're in a lot of sacks at quarterback. Harry's just, how were they able to do that, I guess?
Probably one of the most impressive stats of the game, holding that team to 2 of 10 on third down, and one came from a penalty. We knew I told you guys we had to win the time of possession in that game. So you win time of possession in a lot of different ways. One of it, you have to get off the field on third down. You have to. I thought we had a great plan on defense. I thought our players executed it well. I thought our D-line, a week ago, our D-line, we were not locked into caging the quarterback and keeping him in the pocket. Travis is, in my opinion, the guy's on all the Heisman Trophy lists, so we had to be smart. We had to cage him, we had to pressure him, we had to keep him contained, and then we had to go get our hands on those big wideouts. So we pressured him, we dropped people. If you saw Quan almost broke up one pass, we dropped our nose. We threw a lot of different stuff at him, but ultimately our players executed the plan. And that's one of the biggest differences in the game is they're 2 of 10 on third down. And we were, I think, 9 of 18, but we were 4 of 5 on fourth down. So you got to add those. We kept the drives alive. We were 4 of 5 on fourth down, which I told the players I was going to be aggressive, and they executed it. So those are things we need to continue to do great. We need to stay on the field on offense on third down. We have to get off the field on third down.
You mentioned Ryan O'Keefe, just how's he coming along? How are you incorporating him into the offense?
You've seen him. He's kind of lined up in the backfield. We motion him. We hand him the ball. We throw him the ball. We've taken some shots with him. We've thrown him to him on the perimeter. He had the big one in the game when Thomas rolled out and he threw it to him across the field. And that was a really good contested catch and a huge part of the game. I think he'll continue to evolve. He's a strong guy. He can run after the catch. He can run by people. We need to continue to be creative now and give him the ball. Now we're turning into a pretty athletic offense with the threat of a quarterback who can really run the ball, keep plays alive. And then you have some big wideouts. Then you have some good catch and run wideouts. And then you got a guy like Ryan who can do a lot of different things. I'm excited where we are on offense right now and see what we can do, especially too because we have the ability to run the ball, which we weren't able to do. We can run the ball, we can protect, and we got good skill. Now we got to put it all together, and that's what I'm excited. You asked, I'm excited. Can we build off of this, right? And I think everybody's kind of got a little bit more. It's time now. Let's go really see what we can be. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get back out to practice. No one's asked me about Louisville. This is a really good team. They're 3-0. I think Coach Brom's a really good coach. We know how athletic Louisville is. I think their schemes are really sound. It's going to be a great environment. They're 3-0. They're coming home. This would be a challenge on the road. And let's see what our guys are made of. And we got to go attack it. And I can't wait. So I appreciate you guys.